This is important, ladies and gentlemen, for me to record the chief. There was big controversy around his appointment, and he's been sending subliminals. Well, I think it's direct messages to the sellouts of the Maroons and also to the people that don't understand why Chief Currie is under attack. This is again, this is an attack on sovereignty. This is an attack on law, constitution, human rights, the rights of indigenous people. This is all an attack on all those things. And so when you see a lady being unalived in the street by the police, and you see the maroon, sovereignty being attacked, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. The Maroons are the ones that fought for freedom, that and they were the pioneers of what freedom is. You understand? In this country, they were the first to get freedom. If it wasn't for them, this country would never be independent of the colonizers. You understand? So this man is very important, and what he's saying is very important for us to hear, and that's why I'm highlighting it. So let's listen to the man.
Yeah. Protect the land, protect the people, power to the people. My people of a compound and cockpit country, I stand before you today not only as your chief, but as son of the land. A land that is not ordinary, a land that the world is only beginning to now understand. Because right here in cockpit country, we are sitting on something powerful. It's not just culture, but one of the greatest concentrations of life and an ecosystem incomparable to anywhere else in the Caribbean. Many of the species here in the cockpits cannot be found anywhere else in the world. The very water from beneath our feet sustains almost half of this island. Let that sink in. Here in cockpit country, over 40% of the island's fresh water emanates from the aquifers and springs right through our forests. But I want to ask you something today. If we already have this level of resources, power, status, why are our people still struggling? Why are we fighting to find dignity in the space in which we live? Why are we watching others come to study our land, take from our land, while we're not benefiting from any of its value? Why are we protecting history, culture, but yet not turning it into prosperity for our people? Because you see, culture, as I've said on many occasions, is not just about knocking drums. But I want you to hear me out. We do not have a resource problem. We have a structure problem. And today, I'm bringing you closer to how we fix that structure problem. The vision is not a promise. It's not a project, but a system. A system that changes everything. First, we protect. We protect what makes us powerful. We protect the land. We protect cockpit country. We protect the endemic species that exist here, nowhere else. Over 70 of them. We protect the fresh water that is now a scarce, highly sought after commodity. Over 40% of the island's water flows.
Hey, man, I'm telling you something. One never know. Somehow know. You see the oligarchs of the world, the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds and them, you know what they were busy doing in the last 15, 25 years? They were buying water rights. Just in case you never know. They were buying up the water rights in many different countries, because water is going to be the new oil, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very soon. This is the type of leader that you need in the Akongpong, that understands that those resources need to be protected. I've said all the time, I've said many times before, and some of you might not have heard me. If the Maroons were a different type of people, and they decided to poison the water source that is in that zone, the Jamaican people would die in drones. Thank God Chief Richard Currie and the Maroons are peaceful people, and they have no intention of doing that. I don't trust outsiders to come protect it. One Chief Currie. Let's continue.
From these lands. But most importantly, we protect the Maroon identity. We protect our freedom, our story, our pride, our culture, our history, and secure our future. Because if we lose the land, we lose everything. For the born and the unborn. 2, we activate. We activate it. We stop hiding our greatness and hiding behind our misunderstandings and our mistrusts. Liberate the minds of men and you will ultimately liberate the bodies of men. The words of Marcus Garvey. So now we build. We build an oxygen park where the world comes to experience the power of our environment. A conservation zoo, not for entertainment, but for education and preservation and repopulation. There's a Kinder Wellness Project, where people come to heal, reconnect, and experience the culture. The Akompong Heritage Institute, where our history will be taught, our culture will be retained, and our future is built. Built upon what makes us Akompong. Not just a place you hear about, but a place in the world that you must come to experience. Destination tourism is the order of the day, but how we plan to do it will make the difference. Mandela said, "There is no passion to be found playing small in settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living." So number 3, we produce. We produce because preservation without prosperity will not sustain our people. We need to establish farming zones, farm-to-table systems, supplying our own developments, doing agro-processing, so we stop exporting our raw goods and start exporting finished value. No more watching value leave our land. We build our wealth from within, and that's the path forward. 4, we elevate. We elevate. We elevate through the creation of unique experiences, such as the Tri-Point Eco Resorts. Not mass tourism, not exploitation, but high-value, low-impact experiences where visitors pay a premium to experience what we already have. And most importantly, that money flows back into our community and into protecting our lands. This is the difference. This is not separate ideas. This is one system. An ecosystem of preservation, security, and growth. The forest protects the water. The water supports the farms. The farms supply the wellness and supplies the resorts. The resorts fund the preservation, and the history with the culture binds it all together. That is not development. This is self-sustaining power, a revolving cycle of value. The truth we must face right now, that there are people who see cockpit country as something to take from. Mining, extraction, all manners of degradation for short-term gain. But I'm standing here to say, we will not trade long-term power for short-term profit. Because what we have here is not just valuable, it is rare. The global opportunity is here. And if we structure it properly, it will sustain us for generations, the born and the unborn. What will we say about the future we create? Imagine this. Young people in a compound with real opportunities, not forced to leave and abandon their community, their family, but choosing to stay. Farmers exporting products, trucks and trucks, leaving a compound, leaving adjoining communities with products rich, providing global value. Our culture, which is respected worldwide. Imagine visitors coming not just for Jamaica, but specially for the cockpit country and the compound. The land that has remained intact, strong and protected. So today, by keeping this land in the perfect state of freedom in which it is, we must understand that everything I speak of here today is bigger than an election. This is a lifetime decision, a decision about what we do with what we have, because we are sitting on something the world does not have. Endemic life, fresh water, history, culture, identity. The question is not whether we will have value. The question is, will we protect it and turn it into power? I say we do both. Together, as one people, as one. A compound. The root of Jamaica. Your heritage is a source of power. Let it fuel your journey towards your greatness. As Malcolm X said, the best way to predict your future is to create it. Because a people without the knowledge of their past history, origin, and culture is like a tree without roots. Words of the famous Marcus Garvey. Protect the land. Protect the people. Power to the people. Ashe. Ashe. Ashe.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That was Chief Currie's latest address, and I hope it provides some context. General in I chat Rastafari Black College. I think you need to watch my video I did last night. Chief Currie is on the thumbnail with Mark Golding and Andrew. I read an article in that live stream that gives context. They said that, oh, the chief shouldn't be talking to local government, and no. There's things about the law, independence, the change in what they consider in terms of looking at the 1739 treaty. There's legislative things that you have to understand, and that is the reason why it's important for Chief Currie to have talks with the government, because this is why the People's National Party, Mark Golding, in his in their manifesto, spoke about how they would integrate legally through law and the Constitution the sovereignty of the native people. That is, no man, there has been some changes, my brother. That's what I'm telling you. You need to read the article. The person that in the article is a professor, and he explained exactly what is going on with the treaty, the fact that Jamaica got their independence, the changes that have been made, and what it actually means when it comes down to the sovereignty of the Maroons. You understand? So you really need to go and listen to that live stream, because I think you're misinformed in your assertions about Chief Currie. And also, if you're saying that Chief Currie should not talk with the locals, then what is the other two chiefs doing? Obviously, them are rub shoulder with Andrew Wallace So it's all about the minerals, it's all about the resources, it's all about those things in the cockpit, brethren. And there's outside entities that want it, and I believe that this government is working for those outside entities. Point blank, period. And that's why Andrew Holness has had a problem with Chief Currie this entire time. Because he's blocking them from an unmanageable amount of wealth. I'm talking about unbelievable amount of wealth. Chief Currie is blocking them from and protecting that land. And I stand with Chief Currie, and if you stand with Chief Currie, say I stand with Chief Currie. Shine, you know you're doing. My honorable member of the platform, big up yourself. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section.